Welcome back to Sim York. In this series, we build a whole city based on my beloved New York City, then zoomed in to design an entire city block. I have done 3 other speed builds for shop interiors, and if you've missed any of these exciting episodes, check for the links in the description down below. Today, things are going to be a little bit different due to a horrifying film accident. I'm going to do a mix of speed build and partial reveal as I showcase not 1, not 2, but 5 finished shops. Meet my Sim Dom, who is going to be my emotional support sim. I mean, going to playtest our build and help me figure out why the heck things aren't working in the middle of my pink soup. Come with me on this epic adventure as we finally wrap up this side of the block. Hello, Sims fans. Oh my gosh, today is going to be a wild ride. We've got a partial speed build footage from this restaurant and bar area and my totally questionable woohoo hotel. Then I did a coffee shop, laundromat, and hair salon, and I planned on showing you those builds, but lost all of the footage. So instead, we'll do some play testing, and all this happened not because I'm just tipsy, I'm also batty. As you watch me, you can see I was just flying through this build because I loved my concept. The original was meant to be more casual pub, like I mentioned in earlier builds, and this did end up feeling a bit more upscale. The black and white theme really pulled it together, especially around the entrance near the elevators where I added the podium, and I love the idea of you getting off the elevator and talking to the host stand there. I also liked where I put these upscale fireplaces. Now, this is where things started to fall apart literally. I had downloaded some Sims 4 to 2 conversion. That was the business and hobbies expansion. And somewhere during all of this, you're going to see me do the Woohoo Hotel, and you're going to see why this becomes a problem. Anyway, I didn't realize until I started playtesting the restaurant that it was not working. Nobody was sitting down at the tables. And what was the reason? So I'm going back and forth, and eventually, after removing the white tables, removing the bar stools, I went absolutely crazy. I forgot that the podium needs to be in the same room as the restaurant tables. I had forgotten this entirely. You don't see that footage of me deleting all of this and going crazy because I was rage building. I don't know if any of you have ever done that, but it doesn't stop there. I also had to come back and delete that sleek bathroom door and some of the decorative items behind the bar and those gorgeous fireplaces because they were all part of that Sims 4 to 2 business and hobbies conversion. And eventually that custom content was crashing my game. So we'll talk about that more once we get to the Woohoo Hotel section. But all of that rage building was done off of camera, but trust me, it happened. Let me know in the comments down below if anybody else flips out and rage builds. I headed upstairs to the hotel area. The original idea, if you remember from our earlier build videos, was to have a nice little romantic setup for our romance sims. In fact, this is why I jokingly call it the Woohoo Hotel. Once I got up here, I figured out that 2 small bedrooms would do the trick. I'm not planning on building out. I think there's 6 other floors in this apartment building. And then you saw already pink soup on the beds. As soon as I started placing them, I got flashing textures. This is a classic sign that something was gone wrong. Now, I love that stylish black rug in the hallway and the bathroom doors that I had picked, but unfortunately, they were from that Sims 4 to 2 business and hobbies conversion that I mentioned back from the bar that I'm going to tell you again I had to delete. How did I figure this out? During my builds, I never get that pink flashing, only during my play. I looked at my custom content folders, they're super organized, and I know what my latest additions to things are when I'm adding custom content. As I keep building, you're going to see more and more items start flashing, and this eventually confirms in my mind what the culprit is. In fact, the next thing that you're going to see flashing is a rug on the bathroom floor for this main hotel room that I'm working on. At this point, I didn't even know the bar was broken too. So I'm still flying high. No rage building's been going on. I was so happy with how the hotel was coming together. Since the bar turned out so nice, I felt the hotel rooms needed to match, like everything needed to go together. Nothing divey here, just 2 upscale rooms with decent bathrooms. And then I went downstairs and did the lobby. You're gonna see just a few pictures and footage of that later. But during play testing, nothing was working. I had hotel rooms that weren't functioning. And again, like I said, I had the pink soup as I'm building. And this is where it finally dawns on me. I have 2 separate problems, a custom content issue and a zoning issue. In order to fix the custom content, all I had to do was pull that photo and replace the items that I needed in the hotel and in the bar. For the hotel to function, I had to rezone the lot as a hotel, and I will put these cheats in the description down below. So it went from a community lot to a hotel lot. Please keep all of this in mind, because I'm giving you some foreshadowing that I ran into more issues, which you will see shortly, that ended up having my makeover station. And I'm not even sure why yet. My espresso bar stopped working because certain objects don't function on hotel lots. And what I would do is I would turn the zoning on and off and come in and out, because you literally have to exit the lot and come back in to make the lot function under its new zoning, and keep play testing it to see why things were not behaving as they should. And you will see some of this in the coming moments. I really do like how these little hotel rooms turned out for my romantic sim excursions. I typically don't do hotel rooms. In fact, mostly I make bed and breakfast for my Sims. A little bit about how I play my Sim gameplay. I turn little houses that I tend not to use, or actually big houses in The Sims 2 that I typically don't play with, and I turn them into bed and breakfast, because I do feel like your romance Sims, there is not hotels in your little area. So like, let's say Pleasant View, for example, and where is Don Lothario going to go, like, other than his house? Or let's say he's having an affair with Dina or Nina and they're married and you need to go somewhere. So I make these great little bed and breakfasts. So I did mention how I play in one of my other videos, and my daughter was absolutely horrified that I create these hotels for Woohoo. This is a shot of everything I don't have footage of, starting left to right in the back hotel lobby, the espresso bar, the laundromat, and the hair salon. Some fixes were extremely easy, like the laundromat. All it needed was less clutter. In our espresso bar, there were issues because, again, I had downloaded recolors of the espresso machine, and once I put the original Sims 2 espresso maker in, everything seemed to work fine. Now, the salon makeover chairs. They do not work if the lot zoning is zoned as a hotel. So if I want them to work, I cannot zone this lot as a hotel, but then the hotel does not work. Here, I spent an inordinate amount of time messing with outlining the mirrors in wood, but later I come to find out that once this is a community lot, the salon chairs do work, but they were too close to the wall. The salon is very tiny, and my Sims couldn't use the chairs. So we end up having to get rid of one of the chairs and make there be only one salon chair in here so that the Sims could use the space. even with all of the issues, I am pleased with how the restaurant and bar turned out looking. I think overall the build turned out lovely. Although I do believe I'm not tipsy mommy anymore. I should just be like the cursed shark because all my builds lately have been troublesome. But I hope this helps you if you are experiencing any issues with your builds. Let me know in the comments below if you are having crashing issues, how you handle your problems, or if you're just like me and you're rage building constantly. What is in store now for this build? What I'm going to do is in the comments down below, I have put just the shell of this build for you guys to download that you can decorate any way that you want it. I hope to see what you've done with this crazy build. I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next video where we'll be moving to some other place in our Sim York. Thank you for watching. Happy simming and bye-bye.